Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Jonathan here, and I want to talk about the the awesome race at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And I'll say this: do I still prefer the old Atlanta in a sense of how technical it was? Yes, absolutely. It still was a racer's racetrack, Atlanta, but now with this hybrid super speedway race, and I call it hybrid because you still saw super speedway racing, but you also saw like old classic super speedway racing, like the old Daytona, bumpy racetrack where you would get runs on someone, and all you do is just slingshots. You get a push from someone behind you, you get a good draft behind the other guy, and you just pull out and just do it yourself. You don't need help, and that is the most fun things you can do in a race car. Now, you had to do it when you entered a turn. It wasn't like you just do it on straightaway. They actually did a shot down the back straightaway on TNT, which I'll talk about TNT in a little bit as well. Their first race, they showed a view when they were side by side, and I forgot who it was, but they just literally, as soon as they got side by side, it's like both had like a mega parachute on them, and the guy behind just sunk straight up. I mean, really fast. It wasn't like the guy behind like 20 miles per hour faster. Just those two guys slowed down because of all the drag on the car. But if you time it right and you get a huge run, going into one, going into three, it's amazing how fast you can go through that turn and be able to clear someone and just do a slide job and a slingshot and all that stuff. It's amazing to see that. And it reminds me of the old Daytona. You do that all the time. You would go into the turn one or turn three because if your car wasn't handling right, you might have to lift a little. But a guy who gets a massive run just drives it to the bottom, has all the downforce on the car, and able to just pull a slide job basically and a slingshot and be able to pass. So just fun racing. Now, yes, you're going to see it up there that Chase, if I can do this right, I probably can't do it, but up in the corner there, Chase Out won. Yes, I know I'm a Chase Out fan, but you take Chase out of it, you take any driver out of it, the racing was phenomenal. Yes, we had big wrecks. All right, we'll talk about the first one there with the 20. He just got loose. It looked like everything just kind of, he was by himself, really. He didn't have anyone really around him, in a sense, like really tight. And he just got loose, caught up a few guys there. Blaney was one of them, and he had a few others as well caught up. And of course, as soon as that wreck happened, the bracket, the in-season tournament bracket there, and I'll talk about that a little bit as well later. But that busted for me and for a lot of other people. And after that, we seemed like we were kind of going to be okay. People were still struggling on long runs for the heat. We had a little delay for rain, middle of the race, really a quick shower, nothing big. Just enough to maybe dampen track, dry it quick, boom, back in racing again. Then we were thinking, all right, stage two, shouldn't be any kind of problems, right? We should just kind of settle in, wait until the end, ready to make mega moves for the win of the stage. And all of a sudden, I was watching the True TV side of where Larry McReynolds and Jeff Burton are on there. Again, I'll talk about that a little bit as well. But I was watching that, and that's when the big crash happened when Danny Hamlin and others. It was more like a cornering effect happened. Danny was trying to stay out the guy in front of him. The guy behind him did not realize, and it just checked up and balanced everyone. And 23 cars piled up into it. If they had gone maybe 5 or 6 laps and the cars had spread out just a little bit, wouldn't have been that many cars involved. But right on the restart like that, it's going to happen. And man, took out a lot of good guys who were starting on the pole, like Joe Logano. A lot of basically all the Penske guys got wiped clean in it. for the most part. Well, I think 21, even though he's a Wood Brothers, part of Penske. The two, of course, Blaney was taken out in the first wreck there. All Penske were done. It was just absolutely insane. I was kind of like, whoa. I was kind of shocked, really, in the sense of that wreck would even happen. Because, yeah, Atlanta can have big crashes, but again, if they spread out just a little bit, they can kind of avoid, they probably have like 5 or 6 versus 23. That's what kind of surprised me about it. And it was just like literally almost on the restart, like a lap after. That's why it surprised the heck out of me. It surprised everyone. So it was insane for that. But you thought after that wreck happened, they would settle down, maybe just get single file for a little bit, kind of, just take it easy. Nope. They said, hey, a lot of the big guys are out. Logano, who probably they thought really was going to be the car to beat, probably at the end of the race. And a lot of the Fords got wiped clean. A lot of the Chevys and Toyotas got wiped clean in it. So people just said, hey, let's go for it. Even if it doesn't mean anything right now, let's learn, because all the big guys are out. And they were just pulling slingshots after slingshots, pass after pass for the lead, for third on back. It was just insane. I mean, how much passing they were doing. And again, that's what I love about this air package at this track, because of the drag on the car, and you have to lift. Anytime you have to lift and a guy that doesn't have to, you just blow it past him. I understand that maybe not a lot of people like that because, they don't want on throttle time. I get it, right? But if you treat it as such as a super speedway and think early 2000s, like 2001, all before they repaved Daytona, right? That's what you saw a lot of. Just guys backing up to the guy behind them, getting huge runs down the back straightaway, and just throwing it into 3, while the guy in front can't really make a move and just be able to clear him by himself. Junior was just notorious for that. He would do that all the time in super speedways. Just back up, get a run, and just slingshot by someone without having help. So that's what was so much fun about it. And it reminded me of the old days about that. But it got down to the end of the race, and we had Brad Keselowski, though he got caught up in a big crash. He didn't have that much damage to the car, because his cars are built like tanks for the most part, especially at low impact. But he was able to keep the car underneath him. You had Carson Hocevar in that mix. Got the 48, the 9 Chase Elliott. You got a lot of guys. Stenhouse, who actually had hit the wall, broke a toe link, then was able to get his lap back, both his laps back, and was able to run up front. And he was doing really good as well at the end. But it came down to Chase Elliott, Brad Keselowski, and his teammate Alex Bowman coming to the white flag, or actually basically getting the white flag, going to 1. Alex gives Chase a shove of a century, pulls down into 1. Brad can't block it. Chase gets in front. And of course, from there, the 40 of Alex, he can't really push the 6, because if he does, then the 6 wins, right? You're not going to push a 4 to win. So he makes his choice to go into the back on the back straightaway to try to pass the 6, at least slow each other down, so they will chase to win. And that happens, and Chase Elliott goes on to win, gets locked into the playoffs at his home track at Atlanta. I don't care. And yes, I know it's called Echo Park Speedway now. I'm still going to call it Atlanta. I don't care. All right? A lot of people will just have this tendency to like, oh, you got to call it this. I don't care. It's not. They're going to do sue me. So, anyways, just awesome racing for that. Now, quickly, let's talk about TNT. And, first let's talk about the actual in-season tournament. Once that first wreck happened, my bracket was completely busted when Blaney wrecked and Bell. So I was like, okay, I'm done. And then it really got messed up once that other big one happened. Man, I thought maybe, okay, if that happened, some people saw a shot. But once that big one happened, the big, 23 car pileup, yeah, that was it. That's all she wrote, folks. And pretty much, and Shane Spake said it's on the Actually, they're doing the post race as I speak. They're actually talking to Chase right now. She said if you say you still have a perfect bracket, you're lying, because there's no possible way you could think this through. Like, they have a big wreck like that, and those many people are still there. But man, I am. It was. I knew it was a long shot to win something like this. I mean, not only am I out, like the bracket is busted. I mean, the driver that I had going on to win it, William Byron, he's eliminated. So my whole bracket's completely busted out of this. So forget it. First race, first done. So, but yeah. As for TNT, unfortunately, we're back to cable in a sense. If you're on like Dish or DirecTV or whatever, I'm on YouTube TV. So either way, you're back on cable basically. We're back to commercials, full screens, during green flags. It's just how it is. Yes, I miss Prime so much right now. I really wish I have it. But as for commentators, we still have Junior, Steve Letarte, and Adam Alexander in the booth. Phenomenal job. They still do a great job. Nothing wrong there. We have actually Daniel Trotta, who was doing the pre and post stuff for Prime. She's on pit road. So doing a pretty good job there. You got Andy Snyder on, or Marty Snyder, excuse me, on the pit road as well. So everyone who's doing everything like that, you got Parker Klingerman, Gary McMurray, and Shane Spake on doing the pre stuff. Phenomenal job, right? I have no problem with the commentators. It's just that this race is back on cable, and now we have to deal with full blown commercials and green flag racing. They were showing side by sides during cautions. Again, why are we doing that? It's stupid. There's nothing happening. Save it for later if you have to. It's almost like once they're scheduled in and penciled in, they can't move it. That's where they have to be fit in. I just don't understand it. But no, I miss Prime. I really do miss Prime in a sense of the coverage of, because it's cable versus streaming. But as for, right now they're talking to Chase Hill, who just won, kind of like Prime did. I don't think they're gonna have beer after it, but it's still fun that it's still cool to see this. There's no okay. I'm sorry. I'm reading what I have my TV over in this corner right here, so they're just talking about Dawsonville doing the siren at the Dawsonville pool hall, I guess what it's called. But anyways, yeah, I think TNT is good, but it's just unfortunate it's back to cable, right? Man, they have rules and restrictions on it. So, anyways, I think for the most part this race, besides having a photo finish, which by the way I'll say that we had a photo finish for stage 2, didn't have for the win, but that's all right. Can't always have everything, right? Actually. Tyler Reddick just got chased out there by about thousandths of a second at the stage 2. But yeah, it was fun. Again, this package for this racetrack is what we want for at least that's what I want for super speedway racing. Is that you have slingshots, you have the moves that you're just not 2x2x2 or 3x3 or 4x4, and that's just because of saving fuel. Here they're not saving fuel. Really, you can't, and really, you're letting up the throttle because of the lack of downforce going into the turn that you're saving fuel that way. I really believe they need to adjust the super speedway package at Daytona and Talladega. I hate to say it, but they don't really need to touch it here, right? Because it works. I think eventually, over time, when the track really wears out, they're going to have to adjust it, just because eventually everyone's going to be lifting at the same time, getting back on the gas at the same time, so you're not going to see guys be able to get runs like they want to, because the track wears out way too much over this heat. And here you get 2 hybrid systems, kind of like Daytona, right? The Daytona 500 is all about grip and speed and who can push and shove. that's kind of what Atlanta is for the spring race. I mean, this year you saw, because of how cool the temperatures were, you saw pack racing pretty much all the time. You barely saw guys in single file out trying to do slingshots. You saw, but it wasn't as egregious as you saw tonight. But the summer one, you're seeing slingshots galore. It's just because you can. The cars have to slow down a little bit, especially not just because of the dirty air, but you're also, your handling is not good. You're not having the maximum grip on the car because of the heat. You know, they cool down. It does. You have a hybrid of lack of downforce, lack of grip, but then it cools it a little bit. You have just a little bit of extra grip and speed to make those runs. So again, awesome race. But yeah, let me know in the comments below. I give this a. Well, I'm not gonna give it a 10 out of 10. Let's pipe it down just one notch. How about a 9 out of 10? All right, I could go 10 out of 10. Yes, because Chase won and whatever, but bump it down to 9 out of 10. I think what knocks it down is probably we could have done without the wrecks. The big one, the big one, the 23 car wreck, that was unnecessary in a sense. You know, the 20 car bell that wrecked, that was just I would call it a natural accident. Like, he just got loose and spun and clutched some cars with it. The one with Hamlin, that was kind of unnecessary. I think if it went to sort of give just a little bit of space on the start there, the restart, but it is what it is, right? Can't really help it with that stuff. But anyways, let me know in the comments what you thought about the race. And yeah, thanks for watching. Subscribe for more NASCAR content. Hope to see you for the next one.